More police officers have been deployed outside the Krugersdorp Magistrates Court this morning. That's as various groups are set to protest over the 80 people who will appear in court following the gang rape of 8 women who were part of a film crew that were shooting a music video. Malungelo Booi joining us now live from outside the court. Malu, good morning to you. You have been stationed there for the better part of the morning, so talk to us about what the community in that area feels at a moment like this, but also importantly, tell us whether there has been any update from the police specifically about the 80 people that are going to be appearing in court. Any of them, have they been positively linked to this heinous crime?
Well, Dolly, I'll tell you this. What we know for certain, what the police have in fact told us, is that for now these suspects will be appearing here in the Krugersdorp Magistrates Court for the violation of the country's Immigration Act, but also Dolly, for possession of stolen items. And we're told, Dolly, that those items belong to those film crews, the members of those film crews. And some members of that film crew, Dolly, then, were these 8 women which we were told were violated so brutally. And these 80 suspects, Dolly, it is important to say, they are arrested shortly after, that incident, few days after that incident. In fact, a day after that incident, other suspects were arrested on Friday. Others were arrested on Saturday, with police saying that they found some possession of these models and some members of the film crew. There are 22 members of that film crew. 12 of them were women. We're told 8 of them were violated, and one of the women, we're told, was repeatedly raped by 10 men. And of course, those other members of that film crew were 10 males, and 9 of them, we're told, that were Nigerian nationals. It is interesting to say, that when the Minister of Police on Friday made the announcement about the arrest of some of these suspects, initially we're told that 3 suspects were arrested, and those suspects, the minister says, were illegal migrants. And few hours later, on Friday night, we're told that 67 people were arrested, and all these were Zamazamas. And on Saturday, 17 more people were arrested. And in fact, on Saturday, police were still finding at the scene, the items of those models. And now you can see some members of various groups here coming to protest, and some of them include political parties and also the members of the gender-based violence brigade, which is supported by the Gauteng government. Other people that will come here, and protest are members of Operation Dudula. You and I know Operation Dudula. You know them for their stance against illegal migrants in this country, and they are of the view that government is essentially not doing enough to address that particular concern. So the area, has been cordoned off, as people then are expected to come out and protest. And you can see that there's also a handful of police officers, but we've also been able to see some, private security personnel being brought in. You see some of the placards already in front of you say, "No bail to rapists. Enough is enough. Rapists get no bail." Essentially, that's the message then that's coming out, at least from where we are. It must be said, though, that these suspects have actually not been linked as yet to the rape of these women, and it's possibly going to take a while, Koli, before they are linked to the rape, because one, there's going to be a need of those rape kits and tests and DNA tests to be done. But I also suspect, Koli, that there will be a need for identity parades to be done so that those victims are able to identify the people who say they violated them so brutally. Koli?
You're absolutely correct, Malu, and in fact you raise a very crucial element about this, and that is to say, because they have yet to be positively identified, if at all, or connected to this particular case, what about film crews? What about news people like yourself? When you are inside court, if and when actually you are going to be allowed inside court, might there be issues there that the officers of the court will find trouble with in allowing you to court? Because once we start parading these faces on national television, the immediate link psychologically is that these are the people who are responsible for gang raping these 8 women.
That's right, Koli. In fact, we are going to go inside because the presiding officer who will be working on this case wants to see us. Obviously, we are going to make an application to be inside the court. And I mean, if, Koli, we are allowed to be part of these proceedings and even film, I suppose we will be told how far we can go in terms of filming the accused when they appear in court. I mean, we could be told that we need not to show their identity pending, the investigation into this particular matter. And of course, that's going to become clearer when we go inside and interact with both, the NPA and as well as the presiding officer in this particular case. But Koli, it's not going to be an easy one because logistically, I think it's going to be a nightmare for this particular case because you've got 84 suspects that will be appearing before the magistrate, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it, Koli, whether they're going to go in terms of groups, as in benches, but also, Koli, I mean, this courtroom is going to be packed because we've seen police officers and private security guards already going inside the courtroom, and then you will have journalists who also want to be inside of this courtroom to be part of these proceedings, because this is a case, Koli, that has essentially attracted so much interest amongst South Africans, especially when you look at how brutal this incident has been. I was in Soweto, Koli, over the weekend and interacting with some community members there, and people there, Koli, were actually quite upset about this particular incident.
Malungelo, Booi, thank you very much for that update live for us outside the Krugersdorp Magistrates Court, and this is where the appearance of the more than 80 men who have been arrested surrounding this particular incident, although we must continuously make it clear to you that none of them have been positively identified or positively linked to this case by the South African police. And